Hi, I'm Tony over at CUES. I have one of our Splicer Labs in the back of me, so I wanted to do a quick familiarization video on it so they can be familiar with our Splicer Lab. Maybe you've bought one or just purchased one, or have a new employee that wants to use one. And I'll show you all the features of it and how all the functionality of it and how different things operate. This is not a certification video, it's a video to get you familiar with the product. And what I'll do is I'll put in the description of the video, I'll put some chapters in the video so we can fast forward by clicking on the timestamps and go fast forward through the video if you have to. And if you're interested in the product, you can reach out to me, and there'll be a link in the video to our website, so you can check them out on our website. So this Splicer Lab happens to be built on a 350 cutaway, and what we're going to do is going to put the parking brake on and step on that. Then right over here, there's a couple of toggle switch, so we're going to put the strobe lights on, and then we're going to power up the lift. So this right here, there's a toggle switch right here to put the cargo lights on in the cargo area. So if we hit that, the cargo lights will be on the back. If you do enable this, make sure at the end of the day that you shut the lights off in the cargo area by the switch. You don't leave them on. So right here, there is a switch, a remote control for the spotlight, so that you can control the spotlight from inside the cab. So we tend to flip these spotlights around. We turn them around at the end of the day so that the glass isn't facing the road and you don't get a stone in it to break the glass. So I'm going to turn it on, and then I'm going to arrow over. Then up is up, down is down, and the direction is functions as if you were sitting in the driver's seat of the truck. So now I'm going to put this back around. I'm going to shut it off. I'm going to put it in the stored position. This happens to be a go light. I'm going to shut it off. So now we've opened up the door to the lab, and as you can see, the cargo lights are on, and we turned them on from the dashboard. In the cargo area, your lower controls should be hanging on the wall, and then there's a toggle switch here for the spot that says spotlight. These are for outside the cargo area. And there's one right above the door right here. And if we go around to the back, we typically put one in the back over here as well. So this toggle switch turns on those lights. So if you're inside the lab in the back, there's a work table in here, and we typically include two power strips. One goes to the inverter and the other one goes to the generator. So if the generator is fired up, you can run your electric off the generator if you'd like to instead of the inverter. Here's your power strip for the inverter, and here's another power strip labeled generator on it. And just so you guys know, if you're thinking about ordering one of these from us, you can have the table and the splicer door on either side. This one happens to be on the curb side, but we can also put them on the street side as well. And that is an option for you guys. Now we're going to use the inverter to power up the power strip and the work light. So if you come over here, your inverter should be right next to the pedestal on the driver's side. You just hit the button and it'll start up. And now we're running off the inverter power in the lab. Also should see a couple of breakers right above your inverter, so if a circuit gets tripped, you can reset it right here. So on this particular lab, there's a couple buses, solenoids, and relays, and all of our wiring goes through here. And there's a battery box right there as well. So if you want to run the HVAC unit and use the generator power and power the HVAC unit, I'll show you how to switch over to the generator power. So what you're going to want to do is come over to your inverter and shut it off. And that'll cut the electricity to it. And then you can take your work light plug and change it to your power strip that runs off the generator. Plug that in. Now I'm going to go up back and I'll turn the generator on to power this. Alright, so you should have an extension plug. A lot of times we put these extension plugs into the cab. And if yours isn't connected already, it should be in the cab. You just take it out, you plug it in, kind of like an RV connection. And to fire up the generator, this is a Honda generator. You want to make sure your fuel is on. This one's cold, so I'm going to pull the choke out. And it's electric start. Just going to crank it over. Give it a little warm up for a minute. And this generator has the button here. It says Eco Throttle, so you can put it on Eco if you want to reserve fuel, and it'll kick up and down as you draw power. If you turn it off, it kicks the generator RPMs up. So now our work light is on and our power strip has power to it. We're running off generated power. So there's a toggle switch in back of the lab near the table, and you can shut the cargo lights off by utilizing this instead of the dash if you wanted. So now it's pitch dark in here. So the only thing you gotta remember is that if the lights are on in here and you shut this off, if you have the lights on in the dash and then you shut the lights off in the dash, these will come back on. So just make sure at the end of the day the lights are in fact off in the cargo area, because you don't want to drain your battery. So now that you're running off the generator, you can also fire up your HVAC unit on the roof. It operates much like an RV one would, and you can put it on air conditioning or heat. We typically keep a remote on the wall right there in the holder. So you just turn it on, and there's a mode on them, so you just kind of toggle between the AC mode and the heat mode. I've got this on heat right now, and it's blowing hot air. So that's all you need to do to turn your HVAC unit on the roof on to activate it. All right, let's focus our attention outside, and I'll show you how to use the bucket. Most of the time you'll be using the upper controls, but if you wanted to use the lower controls, you would need to switch the toggle switch to lower controls, and now you can operate all the toggles on it. Okay, so to use the lower controls, you're gonna toggle over to lower control and keep that toggle pressed. And then if I want to raise the boom out of the boom rest, I'm gonna keep this pressed to lower control and go boom up. And then if I want to extend the boom out, we can do that too, same way. And then if you want to still unstow the bucket, it's the same way. And if you want to rotate, it's the same way. You just keep the lower control toggles pushed over to the right. So if you want to stop the engine, you can kill it right there. Then to start the engine back up, hit the toggle up. So say the engine is off and for somehow you've lost power. If you want to use the backup pump, you're gonna have to do up, lower control, and then you're gonna lower the boom, and the boom will come down for you. So you're gonna kind of need 3 fingers for this. So if you're stuck up in the air, you can get down with the emergency backup. There's also 2 speeds on the lower controls. There's a normal speed and a slow speed, so you can put it on whatever speed you'd like. I'm going to show you how to use the controls from the bucket on upper control. So from the lower control, you're going to want to put the toggle switch over to upper controls. Now we've switched the power to upper controls where the bucket is. So I'm up here in the upper controls, and from the lower controls, I sent power to the upper controls with the toggle switch. So to operate the upper controls, you're gonna want to push down on this green button. That's it. That's your power button that sends power over to the toggle switches. So you press down on that button, and then you use the function that you want to use at the same time. So if you press down on the green button, you can toggle up to raise the boom out of the boom rest, or down to lower it. Same with extend. Your extend toggles right here. You're gonna retract and extend out, and your rotations right here, same way. There's 2 speeds up here. You can put it on normal speed or down to slow speed if you want to go a little bit slower than you are. So right here there is a backup, and if you get stuck up in the air, lose power, you can turn on the backup. If you want to stop the engine on the truck, you can push down, and that'll stop the engine. If you pull up, that'll start the engine again. If you get stuck up in the air, the way to use emergency backup is you're going to press the toggle over to on. You can hear the pump kick on, and then at the same time, use the other toggle for the function that you want to do. So you keep this pressed so that the backup pump is activated. Then you can toggle down to lower if you want to lower yourself out of the air. That's pretty much it. And here's a platform stow and unstow toggle switch right here. I don't recommend touching that while you're in the bucket because you could fall out. Over to the side, there's a manual rotation. If you pull this pin up, you can manually rotate the bucket around and reposition that way. So if you'd like to use a ladder rack that's mounted on the roof, if your vehicle has one, we typically mount the pole on the inside of the lab next to the door. And now this is right here, you can just take it off. So to use the ladder rack, you're gonna grab the pole out of the truck and you're gonna insert it into the holder on the top as a handle, and then you can rotate the ladder rack down to the side of the truck. I'll show you how that operates. Put your ladder on. You pull the handle down, hook your ladder up to the top rung. Put the bottom of the ladder right to here. Slide it up, lock it in place. Then you're going to use your handle to rotate the ladder rack system back up to the top of the truck. That's all there is to it. So that's how you use the functions on your CUES Splicer Lab. Thank you for watching the video. If you've purchased one of these trucks from us, thank you for purchasing your truck from CUES. We greatly appreciate it. If you have any questions about the truck, or anything on the video that you've seen, leave a comment. I will reply back to you. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and give us a call if you have any questions. Take it easy.